This is AndrewHaug.com, still Australia's first and only 24/7 metal radio station. It's always a privilege and an honour to do this weekly program called Heavy at Home you're listening to, and also to be featuring bands that I've also been supporting for countless years on the radio, and it's just so great to see that they're continuing to keep that passion alive, because that's the reason to play music. And this band that you will definitely all be familiar with is none other than Frankenbok, who I'd have to say is close to Dreadnought being one of the longest running Australian metal bands without taking, a 15-year hiatus and then finally returning. So we're going to chat with Azzabok, Aaron Butler, the founding member of the group, just what sort of keeps the band, or at least the passion, flowing, and what's happening in the future as well. So welcome to Heavy at Home, Azzabok.
G'day, mate. How you doing?
I'm good, and again, it's always a pleasure to have a chat and also just keep playing brand new Frankenbok music, because like I said, I've always mentioned this a few times, that a lot of Australian bands seem to have a lifespan of 7 to 11 years maximum, and there's usually gaps in between, and then they kind of just pack it in. So my big question, what has kept you continuing to play music since the band's inception in 97? I mean, it's been a long time, obviously.
Yeah, time goes pretty quick. It's just determination, and what else am I going to do? And I guess there's a feeling of this is what I'm meant to do. Like a million other bands, I won't lie that there hasn't been several times where I've thought about packing it in, and I was like, you know what, I could just go on a holiday here and go and do whatever I want instead of, going through everything that it is, to be in a band. But at the end of the day, it feels to me it's something that I'm meant to do. It's something that, I can't stop doing. I've thought about hanging it up and, maybe just recording or anything like that. But I know in advance that it'll be a very short-lived time before I'll be putting another band back together, straight away. It's just one of those things that I feel like I'm meant to do, and won't stop at any cost, really. It seems like there's been times where it's completely illogical to push on, but it's just seems like dust yourself off and keep going.
Like, I know the band's had several lineup changes over the years, and also vocalists especially, which aren't always easy to replace. But like I said, the sound still keeps evolving as well. How do you go with, enlisting new members into the fold again? Because like I said, there's been quite a few, members come and go over the years. Is it sort of, all right, let's see what this person can offer, or just, here's a pair of the old box shoes, you guys can put them on, you fit pretty well, and let's just carry on? Or does it take a while to you to sort of absorb their personality to see if they're a good fit?
It's been really strange with the changing of members and with the, exiting of members. It's just sort of, again, a bit meant to be. When somebody's been, it's quite clear that, maybe their time is up, but for lots of different reasons. Some people have just had other things they want to do with their lives, or they've had enough, or they just can't manage it anymore. But, and then there's other people that, we haven't seen eye to eye or whatever. But as somebody's making their exit, before we really even have thought about who to get as a replacement, there's just been half a conversation when someone says, hey, what about this dude, man? He's always been wanting to play with us, and I didn't know about that. And a phone call's made, and then the next thing you know, we haven't even gotten around to advertising for a new member or thinking too far outside the box as far as who to get. There's often people, around within our little tribe that just seem like they're waiting on the outskirts to be that guy. And the last couple of times is, when Tommy brought in Owen, on bass, he mentioned Owen, and one guy was leaving, and I had a conversation with him, and within about 2 months of him being in the band, I had to check with his friends, because he's too good to be true. As far as one of the first things I say, can you adult? You know, it's one thing, can you play the guitar, but can you hold down a job? Can you turn up on time? Do you have a car? Can you put in your money and all that sort of thing? And when Owen joined, it was just too good to be true. His playing ability, he's managing to sort of look after himself, and the personalities have been, it's all just worked. It's just worked at the moment. And with the chemistry that we've actually now got, I pinch myself. Maybe it's determination, or maybe it's hard work, or maybe it's all of that and a little bit of luck as well, because I think I've said this a few times, but it's the proof's in the pudding right now. The chemistry we've got is amazing. We're producing a lot of content. We're doing a lot of, making a lot of music and doing a lot of shows, videos, etc. But none of it feels like work at the moment, because what we're doing mostly is having a whole lot of fun. The guys in the band, we're all getting along famously, and when we're not playing metal, we spend most of our time laughing.
Well, that's what I've noticed when I've seen the Bok on numerous occasions over the years performing live, is there's always a fun vibe. I know over times when Dan was in the band, he was a bit of a very serious front man, so that kind of toned down the fun just a bit, because the band got more into a heavier, serious sort of mode. But now with, of course, Adam back in the group, there does seem to be that sort of jovial Bok humour that was kind of, there at the earlier sort of years. And how's it been with Adam getting back into the group? I know on occasions the last year or two he's kind of got up and done a couple of songs with you, but what sort of got him back into the fold? Because I know he had a lot of other different projects on the side and he was kind of over performing live, but he seems to be reveling it right now. So what sort of got the old Hutch back onto the stage permanently for new Bok music and tours?
Well, collectively we're all like a bunch of kids, with our first band. It sort of doesn't matter if anyone likes what we do, because we're the biggest fans of what we do. Like, with a new T-shirt coming out, or waiting on the CD to be pressed, or hearing an interview back, we're the first ones in line, because there's a genuine excitement about what we do. As I said, it feels like your first high school band. We're all really, really, really pumped, and especially for me and Hutchie, when we first sort of started the band back in the days, when he rejoined and we were sort of getting around my place and writing songs and working on this and working that, he's like, I feel like we're like 20 years old again. I said, yeah, me too. Like, just all the excitement is back. And I think some people do think, and they'd be right to think that it was a planned thing to get Adam back and get back to our roots, so to speak. But that really wasn't. It just all kind of happened organically, as far as, you mentioned Dan McDougall before. He was sort of struggling with time and commitment, as far as he's had other interests, another business venture that he's doing, the volume dealer stuff, which is great. And he basically sort of couldn't really commit to what I wanted to do in the future. And I did think to myself, well, this could be one of those moments we talked about before. Maybe the band is done. Me being the only original member, now singerless. Do I get another singer? What do I do? And I had serious thoughts of parking it up, new paint job, new name, and just coming out as a completely new band, rather than be one of those bands with one guy flogging a dead horse trying to keep it alive. And 3 or 4 days went past of me being pretty down and not really sure what I should do with this thing. And I talked to Adam on the phone, and our friendship, since we've rekindled our friendship, has been fantastic. We hang out almost every weekend, do old school stuff like sitting there and listen to whole records together and movies, and all the old jokes are back like they never left.
Yeah.
And I just said to him over the phone, he actually called me and said, "What's going on, man?" I said, "Oh, not much." And he said, "What's wrong?" And I said, the old band again's up on blocks. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do here, and all the, with no singer and that. And he actually said to me, "Well, all the recordings that you've got," he said, to not get in the band or anything, but he said, "Would you be keen to send those to me just so I could have a go at doing some vocals?" Because he said, "I still really enjoy spending my time making up lyrics and making up songs. And rather than going out and seeing some other bands, I wouldn't mind staying home for a weekend and just working on, those tunes. If no one ever hears it, just something fun, something to do. And I was like, yeah, why not? And I sent them to him, and he sent them back literally within like 1 to 2 days, and he'd done something for everything. And I felt like the biggest dickhead in the world, because I thought, the obvious fix is right in front of me. What am I doing? What am I doing thinking about who am I get? What am I going to do? Because meanwhile, me and Adam, or Hutch, had been, we're constantly talking about trying to write music again and do a side project. And I was always like, I really want to do that, but keeping Frankenbok alive takes so much of my time and energy. I'm sort of struggling with starting a new side project as much as I wanted to. And then just the penny dropped, and I thought, duh, hey man, we hang out 24/7 and we're all into the same stuff and enjoy the same sort of music.
Come on back.
How's about wasting another 10 years of your life and get back with Frankenbok? And he's like, I'll be there in a minute.
So all the songs off the new EP, Irrepressible, you had written without vocals, and then he just said, let me have a go and I'll see how it sounds. Because, like I said, the songs still have that, I mean, maybe because it is Hutch's vocals, it has that real sort of jovial vibe that Frankenbok had on the earlier sort of releases. So I was just curious how much music had been written versus vocals, but as you said, it sounded like all the music was done. It was just, who's going to sing on this?
There's a funny way how it all happened. After we did the 25th anniversary show where everybody came back and did a guest appearance, there was definitely an idea with this record that we just did to have Adam and Dan sing together on it, do bits and pieces together, so have them both sing on the album. And for whatever reason, I'm not really sure, that just sort of faded away and didn't really seem to happen. But whilst I was writing those songs, I definitely had it in my head of a Dan Cross Hutch sort of style, and which is why maybe it does have that little bit more of the 90s new metal funk kind of anything goes type thing.
Now let's talk about touring, because like I said, Frankenbok have always taken their music to the people. A lot of bands do a couple of shows here and there, and then we haven't played for 18 months, or whereas literally every couple of weeks I'm scrolling through feeds, bang, Frankenbok playing live somewhere, and also playing with different types of bands, and not every band can fit well with that kind of context. I know you did recently Alien Ant Farm, which is not a band that I'm a fan of, but you guys just, we'll do it. So how do you go down with different audiences? Because again, it just shows that there's a fearlessness with Frankenbok that you kind of will just play anywhere with anybody virtually.
Well, that's one of the great things that Adam has brought back to the band. As you mentioned before with Dan, the things got a bit more serious, and which they did. They were a bit more straight down the line kind of metal. But then when Adam came back, he was like going through my old recordings and this and that and go, what are you doing with this, man? We should use that. And there's this like encouraging me to use everything and anything that I've sort of got, which was originally what Frankenbok was like. It was, one song would be 255 beats per minute, blasting death metal type stuff, and then the next one would have sort of some sort of weird salsa mixed with southern blues or whatever. And that has what's sort of come back. And we've been talking about that recently. I feel very lucky in a way that, you've got your bands like Slayer or even King Parrot, for instance. There's a formula in what they do. And if they were to sort of go too far either side of that, I know that some of their fans wouldn't be following them so much. They'd be disillusioned. Whereas over the years, I think people have gotten used to expect kind of anything from Frankenbok, so we kind of get to do whatever we feel like, and that's kind of even how I write. Like some days I will sit down and write something that's a very sort of bluesy orientated slow type thing, and then one day I'm in a full thrash metal kind of mood, and I've got the guys in the band that There's nobody that doesn't go, yeah, I don't know if that fits. Doesn't matter what you bring. Everyone goes, yeah, that's cool. Let's have a go at that. So everyone's really open to all styles of music, although we all do play and listen to metal. We listen and we also play kind of everything, which is great. You know, having guys that can sort of jump onto everything. But as far as playing with different types of bands, we've done all the blast metal festivals over the years and been lucky enough to support bands, you know, like Slade at Fear Factory and all that. When the opportunity came up with the Alien Ant Farm drowning pool thing, that was something that I really jumped at and kind of on purposely forced my way into that one, because a lot of the people that would go to the regular metal shows have heard of us and have seen us. With the new album, it wasn't really, you know, strategically designed to be that way, but it's a bit more versatile than some of our other stuff, so I've been told.
Well, that's what I noticed. Like I said, with you know, Hutch being in the band, it has kind of taken Bok back to the old, but also a new perspective, if that makes sense. It's almost a hypocrisy there, but at the same time, it's like I hear it and just go, well, that is traditional Bok, but it's now, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and that's when the Alien Ant Farm situation, I was just like, you know what, I would love to play with that band, because there's be some people that would be confronted by us that wouldn't have any reason to see us anywhere any other time, and with the new stuff that we're doing, rather than, you know, try and blow the skirts up of the same old people, maybe some people that would never ever have had any reason to hear us will hear us, and it worked. There was people coming up going, when did you guys get together? I've never heard of you before.
And where have you been? But that's a good sign at the same time, because like I said, you're playing to a whole bunch of new people that have just gone, I had no idea about this band, and then boom, they go down the Bok rabbit hole and realise you've got 8 albums and a whole bunch of EPs, and you know, you've been around for a long, long time. So that is definitely a positive when you get that sort of stuff. As much as you think, hang on, we've been around long enough, but yeah, there's always new people to introduce the band to. So.
Yeah, and that's something that clearly really worked for us. Is, you know, with all these new fans on, like, you know, on all the social media platforms. Some of them I don't even, like, you know, have much to do with, but like, we've got all these new fans popping up here, and it's all been from exposing ourselves to, you know, completely different audiences. And as far as going back to formula, you know, and the kind of bit more versatile, bit more kooky and stuff that we're doing now. When me and Adam sort of get together, we didn't sort of, we didn't really plan, let's get back to what we used to do or anything like that. With the way he thinks and the way I think, and with, you know, the other guys in the band just so open to doing everything, it's just kind of naturally what we do, which is good, because I'm not really trying to do anything.
Just be yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, that's a big part of what, with this band, with the album that we just did, you know, there is, as you would know, there is certain bands that are ruled with an iron fist by one certain member, and it all needs to be this way and look this way and sound this way. You know, we've been doing this for far too long to start telling guys what they should be doing and how they should be doing it and all that. I've just been like, you know what? You do what you think. Just do it if you're the best of your ability, and it will be awesome. And I've just been letting people, you know, have free range, and I'm just very, very lucky to have the chemistry and the guys that have got in the band now. They're awesome. There's nothing that they won't ever go at. There's nothing that they're not interested in doing, and, you know, everything is yes.
Well, that is like I said, it is a great privilege to be playing new Bok music in 2025. So we can get you to choose your favourite track off the latest release, Irrepressible, and also one from the Bok archives, Aaron.
It'd probably have to be Dopamine, which we did like the video clip for. Another reason I like that is I think we achieved something that I really wanted to achieve in that song is... of course, my roots are heavy, but I kind of, this is where I did strategically do something. I kind of went, with the new stuff, I want to make people dance. I don't want to impress the musicians. I'm not really worried, I don't want to impress them, but, I'm just not chasing after, getting kudos from other guitar players or anything like that. I want to make music that makes people unconsciously tap their foot and have a good time. And with dopamine, with almost the salsa beat feel that's going all the way through that, I think we got it there, because I've watched people that don't like this sort of music not being able to control their feet tapping away. So that's probably my favourite on the latest record.
And one of your classics, one of the Bok classics, where you're like, yeah, I'm so glad I wrote this song.
Wow. There's a lot. Triumph is one song that was not meant to be on the album. The album was done, was written and sorted, and it was one of those ones that, hold on, I think I got one more. And I sat down, I was particularly emotional about something. I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know where to go or where to seek refuge. And I went, well, the old guitar is usually a good place to hide. So I picked up the guitar and that song just fell out. And there seems to be something about it. It's one of those ones that up until recently we haven't gotten away without playing it live every time, because it just seems to be a favourite from everybody. It gives it's heavy and it gives them the feels.
Well, let's get the Bok feels happening right here on Heavy at Home. And again, keep us posted on future music, because I can see that the Bok will still continue to be around for many, many more years to come. And let's hear some Frankenbok right here on Heavy at Home. And, keep us posted, Azzabok.
Thank you so much for having me, mate. And be prepared. We're boiling plenty new broth right now. We're hanging there's plenty of new songs on the go.
All right, let's hear some Bok broth right here on Heavy at Home on AndrewHaug.com.